to this edition of Pub Table Racers. My name is Tim Packman. Sitting next to me is not Warren Brosell. Warren is currently testing as we do the show at the Roval for the next generation car, Gen 7, whatever the name they come up with it. And he's down there, Gen 7, 6? 6, 7, okay. Next generation car. He's down there with a test with Team Penske, figuring out cool stuff and this and that. So I will be flying solo, but never fear, we have a guest who's coming up tonight's show. We will intro, not him. Oh, bucket of beer. Why? Pub Table Racers. You gotta have a beer as Pub Table Racers as the host, and Wine Miller High Life in tribute to our friend Bobby Allison. I will do the air toast to all of you, having one at home. Hold, please. Like my dad says, first one of the day. All right, so let's talk about tonight's show. This is coming to you live from the Rapid Removal Studios, thanks to Darren Russell, engine tuner at Team Penske. Tonight's show, our guest is Rick Hodges, a long time, over 2 decades we talked about, as a hauler driver in the NASCAR industry, and he's worked for a couple big teams, and he's going to share his stories about working at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated with the Budweiser team, and now with Kevin Harvick at the Ford. They made the news highlight reels this weekend. We'll talk to him, and also we will talk about some news. But before we get started, our show is brought to you by RacingJunk.com is one of our big sponsors. Buy, sell, trade. If it has wheels, have anything to do with wheels, clothing, shops, cars, bikes, drag cars, oval cars, dirt cars, motorhomes, go see them. They even sell shops. You want to buy a shop, go check them out. Also, the Garage Shop, great work going on over there. We put some latest YouTubes up, videos, and plus the restoration we kind of did of a Richard Petty car that's currently going on. It was a tribute car, because I can tell you damn well nobody at Petty Enterprises built that car. You'll see if you check it out. We appreciate their support, and also Rapid Removal, Darren Russell. You have anything that needs to be moved, you're renovating, refurbishing something, getting rid of stuff, he will bring a 20-yard container over to your house, replace, drop it there on tires, makes no imprints in the grass. Great business, great guy. And when you're done, say, hey, come get it. And that's why it's called Rapid Removal. Give them a call. Check out Darren on Facebook. He still doesn't have a website or a Rapid Removal Facebook page. Otherwise, we point you that way. So appreciate it. Personally, it was great to be in the garage this weekend. Got to see a lot of familiar faces. And it was cool to reconnect with a lot of you people in the sport and the industry. So I appreciated that. Was pretty cool. It was good. Made a visit. And people say, did you stick around for the race? I said, no, really. But hey, at least I went in the garage and said, hey, because I had no reason to be there for the race. I had no pit stops to do. Monica Rogers, yes, we're missing someone. It's Warren. Yes, I know he's short, but he's not that short. We can't see him, that's all. Jessica, yes, you could have been the co-host again. You could have been. All right, let's talk about the news. First of all, on a sad note, from RCR, Richard Childress Racing, Gray Warren, longtime crew member there. His last role, he was also the parts department manager, and I think afterwards he moved into the winery. Passed away from pancreatic cancer yesterday, so God bless to him and his family. Great guy. When I was at RCR, if I couldn't do a tour, I'd call Gray and go, Gray, can you cover me? He goes, gotcha, man. He was a really good guy, and miss him and sad for that. On a happy note, NASCAR Hall of Famer champion Ned Jarrett, 89 years old today. I'm going to cheers to that, because one, I'm thirsty. And two, it's Ned Jarrett. He's a gentleman, great guy. All right. In the news, Ty Dillon announced as the full-time Cup driver for GMS Racing. Good choice, good driver, good guy, and he's going to be there's their first venture into Cup, and he's going to do a good job, and I'm sure there might be a little help from RCR and Chevrolet involved. I forgot to turn that off. So, can you guys hear that? It's annoying. I can't. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn that off. I think it's a dehumidifier. I don't know what it is. Just find the button. Just hit it. Just smash it until it goes off. It's not mine, it's Warren. There we go. Man, you are awesome, Rick. All right, let's talk about the racing this weekend. Xfinity at the Roval. AJ Allmendinger, anybody shocked? That's 3 in a row. Colleague Racing is on fire now. They are absolutely just killing it. And AJ, has a road course background, and he's also in oval races. But for them to win 3 in a row like that, amazing, and congrats to them. Another team going Cup racing next year, so it should be interesting. On Sunday, Kyle Larson overcomes mechanical failure. Belt had to go, battery had to go in. Changed that, had to make some changes. Comes back out, says that's it, I'm done. He actually thought his chances were over of making the playoffs. Nope, he not only made the playoffs, he made it to victory lane. Another race, the Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott feud continues. Elliott got a little help going around there from Harvick, and they both said on the radio, it wasn't an accident, it wasn't a mystery, that's what happened. And later in the race, his bumper's off on the 9 car. He stays out there. Now people say, oh, he should have been black flag. It wasn't dragging, it wasn't in the way, and we've seen parts like that of pieces of the car, but he stayed out, and then it totally came off, so they just kept racing. Towards the end, a restart, Harvick goes hot into turn 1 there, and locks up in the right front, smashes into the wall. He's done. He is now out of the playoffs. Chase Elliott goes on. We now have 8 left as we whittle it down the next 3 races, and then we go 4 to Phoenix, which, by the way, is already sold out. Enough of me plathering. I'd like to bring our guest on. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, it is the one, the only, from Durham, North Carolina. I've known this guy for, we figured out, it's 19 years now. Make it 20 years, what the hell, round it up. He is the current hauler driver for number 4 team at Stewart Haas Racing. Drove for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, number 8 Budweiser, and one other team before that. Rick Hodges, come join us, please. Don't trip.
Don't trip. Don't hit
trip.
the camera.
That's good. First of all, appreciate you being on. See, you're like the first guest to sit in the honored seat there of Warren there, where Warren usually sits. So appreciate that. You're from Durham, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
And before you got into, did you have any motorsports background at all?
No.
Growing up? Zero. Okay.
Zip.
So what did you do before you got into racing?
I was in the concrete business for 20 years in Raleigh.
Yep.
I drove a truck for like 6 months, and I went into QC, and then I went into sales for the last 18 years.
And where, and when you say the concrete, just all concrete?
Ready mix concrete in Raleigh.
Okay.
It was Raleigh, Wake Forest, Apex, Cary, that area surrounded. It was the second largest concrete company around.
No, they're huge. They're huge. So what happened that all of a sudden you went from concrete to the asphalt jungle of NASCAR racing?
Well, I was a single guy, so I had a lot of fun, but a friend of mine moved to Statesville and worked for the lady that I'm currently married to now, and kept telling me, I got this girl I want you to meet. And I said, well, I'm not really interested. I'm having fun.
I let that go. I was single and having fun. I just let that.
Just
say no more. We've all been there, yeah.
I finally broke down and I said, I want a recent picture, and she sent it to me, and I said, what the heck was I waiting for?
Yeah, and your wife's name is?
Londa.
And she is a very beautiful person and a woman.
Way, way out of my league.
So,
I don't know how the heck I got
you know what? And there's not a lot of people that are doing that. I mean that in the nicest of ways.
Oh, everybody knows it. I mean,
all right.
I wasn't in the same zip code.
So you met and...
We met, they came from Statesville down to Raleigh, and just so happened my best friend's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, was the one that introduced us, and she came with her, and my best friend and her, we all went out to eat, and then we talked for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden we started dating, and the rest is history.
Really?
22 years later.
22 years.
Yes.
God bless you. That's great.
She's a saint.
Yes, we know that.
Put up with me for that long.
Tiffin Wilbur says Otis is my favorite hauler to follow down the highway. Do you know the guy?
I don't know
Okay,
him, but
so
evidently he likes to go fast.
All right, so yeah, Dave Johnson says not a fan of the number movement. I'm okay with it. What do you think about the number movement in the new car? Big
I
deal?
don't like it.
You don't like it? Why?
No, I just don't like it. It just don't look. I mean, you look at something for 20 years, and all of a sudden they're gonna move it.
60 years, yeah.
I mean, well, I
Yeah.
mean, as far as me,
Sure, yeah.
moving it back like that, I don't care for it.
Okay.
I like it. I like it just like it is.
I
I
get
like
it.
the whole car like it is.
Sure, yeah, a lot of people do. I've heard, yeah, we'll get to that. When you, so did you just get out of the car? How old were you when you got married? Because you said you were single and having a lot.
Well, I'm 66 now. So,
Really?
47. When I went 46 when I met, I think. I was single for about 10 years, long time.
Okay. All right, so you were previously.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I was married for 7 years prior to that,
So
and then
you-
I was single for a long time. Then I met her, and then been married ever since.
Wow. And she has,
3 kids.
3
I
kids.
have 1 son.
okay, got it.
Reed, Elizabeth, Jason, and Stephen.
Okay.
And 4 grandkids.
I was going to ask the next question. You're a grandfather.
Oh yeah, just got a 6-week-old at my house right now.
That's just scary.
Yeah, it is.
Those kids, they was like, let's go see Papa Rick. And they're,
Oh, Papa's I'm a hit with the grandkids, though.
You're a hit with all of us, but I imagine so. Okay, so so you just left the concrete business and moved
Actually,
here?
no, I stayed in Raleigh 1 year after we got married, and I would come home on Fridays and go back on early Monday morning, come back on Tuesday night, go back Wednesday morning, and I made the transit 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And then I said, this is enough.
So you said you had your toothbrush, so yeah.
I had a friend of mine that worked for the concrete company in Statesville, and I got a job there.
Right.
I worked for 6 months, and then I went into my old buddy Richard Bostic.
Okay, I have to bring him up, but he chimed in with a question.
He got me involved in that. I saw him at Trailers at the East Coast. I was looking for a motorcycle trailer to haul my
East
Raleigh
Coast
on.
Trailers, yeah, okay,
Yep. And I met him, and because he was in a big bus, and I knew it was somebody that was racing. So I started talking to him, and he said, "You really want to drive one of those?" I said, yeah. But it was a little more exciting part of it.
Sure, yeah. Right?
And he introduced me to a couple people, and 22 years later, I'm
So
21 years later.
So Richard Bostic, we should tell people he's a long time staple in the sport. Was he a hauler driver or was he a bus driver?
He was a hauler driver
Yeah.
first.
Right.
He was the man back then. I mean, then he started driving a bus, and that's what he ended up doing at the end, was driving a bus. He drove at the end, I think he drove Jeff Burton's.
Yeah. Always has a job. Always has a job.
Always going to tell you a joke.
He said he taught you everything you knew.
He does.
Okay.
A lot. I didn't take them jokes, though.
Okay. We appreciate that. Hey, Marilyn from Akron, New York. Appreciate it. Troy Prince. Otis, my man.
Oh, I know, old boy Troy. We had some fun back then.
Love to get him on when he's up there in Maine playing with lobsters.
Yeah.
That's all right. If anybody has any questions or anything, this is your time to chime in. We'll take them. Warren's not here to pick up my slack, so you guys are on call as a co-host tonight. Yes, Jessica, even you. When you got the call, so you started talking, you got your first job driving a hauler with...
I went to Evernham when they started up, stayed there. The end of the year came, and we were testing Lakeland, Florida, and I got a phone call from Tyron Norris when I was
President of DEI.
President of DEI. I was going through South Carolina. We were going to Lakeland, Florida to test.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Could you come in Monday and have an interview? We got a hauler open," and never told me what truck it was. And I said, "Well, I'd love to, but I'm on the way to Lakeland, Florida to test for 3 days." I said, "I can come back on Friday." And I got back Friday, and it was late. And I called him, and he said, "Just come in Monday." So I come in Monday. Still didn't know what truck it was. Walked in the door with Ty, and Tony Sr. Pops walked in right behind me, and I knew what it was then.
So you had no idea?
I had no idea what truck it was.
So Tony, your senior crew chief of the number 8
Yeah.
Budweiser. Oh, hey, well, you don't really know her. So you were driving all the time. Christy? Remember Christy Martin?
Yeah.
Flight attendant?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I saw her in Chicago. I had to fly home on Saturday because I had a little malfunction with the ticker here, and it went into AFib, so they flew me home.
Good idea.
And I saw her there at the airport.
Right.
To leave Saturday to come back on Xfinity plane.
Right. Okay, because you were always driving, so you didn't get to fly.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy, how you doing? So you go in, you do the interview, and how'd that go?
Well, Pops told me, he said they weren't going to interview anybody else. The job was mine if I wanted it, and me being new into the sport, I didn't want to take somebody else's job and make them be out of a job so I could have a job, because I already had a job. So I called 3 of the older guys that had been in racing a lot longer than I thought I would ever be, and I asked their opinion, and they basically said if he called you and he wants you to come to work there, he said I would take it.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to call him on Friday. He said, "Call me Friday or Monday," and I waited till Monday, knowing I was going to take it the day I walked in the door. But I wanted to make sure I didn't make nobody mad or take somebody else's job.
And that shows a lot of integrity on your part.
I didn't want to do that.
So you're going to work for, what year was this?
I went there the 1st of 2003, I believe it was, because I worked. We won Daytona 500 in 2004.
Right.
So I was there a year before that happened. So
Okay.
first 2003, I believe.
So that's where I got to know you because I
Yeah.
started 2003. Jay Ganeri.
Jay
We all
Ganeri,
started at the same
we
time.
all started, yeah.
Same down at Corbett. You guys were on the cars. I was, writing stuff and started the website.
Matter of fact, Dale Jr. made a comment at the first of the year. He says, we made a lot of changes and we even hired a new truck driver.
Yeah.
He did say that.
Perfect.
I remember him saying that.
So you go to work for, let's say, the biggest name, the biggest sponsor, the most watched hauler on the highway. What was that like for you? Do you remember,
It was fun. I mean, being around Dale Jr. and his contacts and everything that he brought to the sport. I mean, we could go places, and I mean, I remember going to George Lucas's ranch in California, a 200-seat theater.
Star Wars guy?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Went and watched the premiere of Talladega Nights.
You went to
George Lucas's ranch, set in his 200-seat theater
at his place.
Has his own fire department on premises, and we watched Talladega Nights premiere.
That's a lot of Darth Vader dolls. What? So who all was there? Was it just a bunch of you
It
guys?
was him. It was George Lucas, his wife, girlfriend, or whoever it was. All the 8 guys, just all the road guys, because it was we went to see it on I think it was Friday night.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or Saturday afternoon when the garage closed. We all went there. The pit guys hadn't got there yet,
Okay.
so I think it was just road
That's
guys.
pretty cool, though. That's nice. Not bad. Scott Daniels, Otis. So, I keep calling you. I haven't called you Otis yet. So, do we want to tell?
Well, I mean, it's a PG rated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We didn't have backup drivers back then. We had contract labor drivers, and I had a guy named Joe that rode with me. I can't remember his last name, but he went to all the long trips with me. When I indulged myself with the sponsors' beverage more than I should have.
You're sponsored by Budweiser. When you're not driving and you're off, we all consider it was our job.
It was our job.
Our duty to make sure they were happy and the product was being
Bud Light bottles.
Perfect.
Well, anyways, I got a little tipsy that night, and the next morning we get to the track, and Pop still hadn't got a nickname for me yet. So
gotta have one.
I made a smart comment to Joe, and he said, "All right, Otis." I reckon from the town drunk of maybe RFD.
So one night,
Pops heard it.
That was it. Yeah.
He'll have people in the race that don't know my name's Rick.
People, if Mike Packman, they think it's a nickname. I'm like, no, that's really mine. Yeah, I came with one.
My wife actually had to call one time. We were on the green egg deal for a little bit, and she called to pay for it before I could pick it up.
Yeah.
Says, I need to call and pay for Rick Hodges' green egg. Well, we don't have no Rick Hodges on the list. She said, how about Otis? Oh, we got one of them. So
what does your wife call you?
she calls me Ricky.
Okay, got it. Okay, I just want to make sure.
She ain't never called me Otis.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Perfect. So let's talk about those early years of DI. All the eyes are upon us. We lost Dale. Everything you did was magnified. What was it like driving that hauler down the road?
It was like everybody and their brother wanted a piece of that kid, and I understand he was bringing up the legacy, but you could see people. I mean, everybody waved at you. I hardly had anybody that ever booed at us, but it was either waving or going down the road and thumbs up, blowing the horn, or riding right at your quarter and taking pictures of it so you couldn't pass.
Right.
And they'd get out of the way, let me pass.
Right.
But it was fun. It was a beautiful truck too.
I remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
Twin turbo cat, 550 cat motor. When a Freightliner, that thing would haul the mail.
When I remember we've talked, so people would actually when you stopped for fuel or on the CB, they would ask if Dale Jr.
Oh yeah.
was.
I see.
He asked if
I got
he was
tired.
riding along. Yeah.
I got tired of saying no, he's not.
Right.
So I started saying, yeah, he's in there asleep. Be quiet. Quit talking. He's in there asleep. So he's got a race in 2 days.
Yeah.
He's trying to get his rest.
Oh, okay, man. So
He never rode in the truck with me. No.
Now I did. Remember the one
Yeah, you
time
did.
you and
Yeah,
I
you
were?
did.
I was doing a story. I said, let's do a story for the DEI website, and I said, I want to ride with you. So we said, let's go to Pocono. So we rode to Pocono, and I experienced firsthand. Like you've told us about it, but man, the people that stop and they wave, and girls are writing their phone numbers on a piece of paper to call. I'm like, what am I going to call you for? We're driving on the road, and then we stopped and we got fuel, and it was like, people were just
Yeah,
coming out of the woodwork.
It was different.
And you did this all the time. It was just me experiencing one time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, you were the bad guy on the block
Yeah.
with that truck because it was with him too. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere that somebody didn't want something.
Hat.
Shirt.
Shirt.
whatever.
Oh, just to give out shirts like it's nothing.
Hats. I like it was
Yeah.
nothing.
Sure. Well, didn't you need them like for sometimes at the way stations?
Yes, I've had to give up numerous hats at the way station back in the day.
It's like you're not the only one.
All of them do.
Yeah.
All of them
Sure.
do. And sometimes they pull us in. There was a guy, and we went to Daytona back then. It was no restrictions on gears or truck arms and none of that stuff. So we carried a plenty.
Oh, the
And I
Daytona,
always, yeah, we were pretty heavy going across the scale in Daytona. Right before he got to the track, Daytona, and he was a retired Army guy. He got hurt in the Army, and when he comes out the door with that piece of paper over his head, he's not coming out there to give you the receipt. He's just coming out to get a hat.
So that was the sign?
That was the
Hold it up.
He's, "You're a little heavy there, sir. What's this going to cost
So
me?"
are you, officer. Yeah.
But they were always
Uh-huh.
nice.
Yeah. Of course,
They
I have to
just
give him a
wanted a
hat.
hat. And I mean, I was about
Uh.
3,200 pound over gross going to Sonoma. I had to
Just
give
a
him,
little bit.
I had to take the toolbox off the truck, put it on a rollback, go 50 miles down the road, put it back on the truck, and continue on down the highway. I was the
Seriously.
only toolbox when we got to the racetrack had bugs on the toolbox because it set up higher than the rollback.
Where'd the rollback come from?
Amazingly, the guy that was going to give me the tickets, nephew had a rollback. So it only cost $275 for me to go 50 miles.
Wait a minute. So you had to stop, unload the toolbox.
I unloaded
Put a
to him. He said,
rollback
"I got to
to-
get legal." I said, "How can I get legal? I can't get legal. I can't.
Why
Our
was
spread
it?
axles don't move.
Sure. Yeah.
I can't slide the fifth wheel forward because I'm already maxed out on the front axle."
Right.
So I said, "You got a rollback? You know anybody's got a rollback?" He said, "Yeah, I got somebody." And all of a sudden, around the corner, here comes a rollback.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. What state was that?
I was in Missouri. So I loaded up on the rollback, and 50 miles down the road, I gave him 2 T-shirts and several hats and $275 cash, and off I
you
went.
All the other states were fine though?
Everybody.
They just needed
even
hats.
California, as bad
Really?
as they are, they let us
Okay.
go through there.
That's too funny. What do you remember, like one story that sticks out? You're driving that 8-hauler, there had to be one that sticks out above.
Oh man, there's a bunch of them, I reckon. It was just how people wanted that kid
Yeah.
to win and blowing the horn, and I mean they'd ride by you and wave and blow the horn and stick their number 8 sticker out or their 8 hat out.
Right.
I mean it was fun.
Tom Beatty, #1 fan. Yes, you're late, and we have docked your fandom. Thus
Uh-oh,
He's
you're in
no.
trouble.
Yeah, he's in trouble. That's right. Okay, meet Rick. Tom, say hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
There's our #1 fan. There, you get your own personal greeting, Tom. Even though you're late, that's fine. Okay, so we went through the glory years of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, and then we went through the not so.
Yeah, we did the swap-a-roo there with the 15. We got Michael for a year, and they got Dale Jr. That was, I don't know why they did that, but it didn't last. I mean, the next year we went right back.
When you saw how, and we've had other people sit with us from DI. How did it make you feel when you saw that what we once had was starting to kind of slide off the cliff?
I go by there every day going to Stewart Haas Racing. That's the road that I take every day, and it's like when you go by there. When I went by there in 2008, when we left and started 2009 at Stewart Haas, we go by there every day. It was like I'm supposed to turn left right here.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to turn in this parking lot.
Yeah.
But it's sad to see all that what was there. I mean, we had a good thing going on.
We had a
back then.
great thing going on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, well, Jeff Clark said, it wasn't, we went to plate races, it wasn't going to be, if we're going to win, it was going to be who's going to win.
Yeah, it's like,
And we go to plate races, and Jeff said, we've already set up for teardown. He's, what are you doing? We're getting ready for after the race. We're like, wow, you guys are cocky.
the one thing I liked about that place with Tony Sr. and Stiffy,
Tony Jr.
Tony Jr., is you could run really good on Sunday or run really bad on Sunday, and the mood was the same on Monday. It didn't make no difference.
Yeah.
It was like, it was the same. Yes, we want to go win every race that we went to,
Right.
but it was no different if we won or we finished 10th. On Monday, it was the same.
Same move.
Same move.
Because we swept Bristol. Dale
Yep.
Jr. won the Xfinity race. the Cup race. So I come in on Monday. I was like, "Woo, yeah, way to go!" And they're like, "What?"
What?
I'm like,
It was
"We
the
swept
same.
Bristol." I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Okay, well, the hell with it. I'll just get out of here. I'll go dance on my desk." So it's pretty good. They're like, "Yeah, it's always the same." Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
all the time.
I used to look because my office was right around from here, so I'd go out, and because it was the outside doors, and I'd come trotting through, and it'd be lunchtime. I'd just jump in a van with you guys and go. It was a good group.
Oh, yeah, go to lunch. It's pie in the sky.
Pie in the sky.
Pie in the
It's
sky.
Pie in the Sky or Bob's Diner, whatever. On Thursdays was,
They do
Whataburger.
Whataburger on Thursdays.
and you know why? On
Most
Thursday,
time I was gone on Thursdays,
Right.
but sometimes I was there.
do you know why we went to Whataburger on Thursday?
No.
Because Vinny's used to be open, and it was dollar beer night on Wednesday. So,
So they needed some.
yeah, beer spongy.
They needed some sponge to suck up the alcohol.
Grease in that. Hey, here's your man, Richard Bostic. Says, my man, Rick, good man. There you go. He just popped in.
Oh, Boston,
Say hi to
you're
him
a
right
good
there.
one. Hello, Richard.
There you
You're a
go.
good one.
He talked good about you before you got here, Rick. So as your careers go along there, all of a sudden, the demise of DEI takes place now. Were you part of the division of the Lions and the Tiger? You know, they did the Christian Lions. Like, did you be part of that, or did you move with the team when they went? As a
I
whole?
just moved the team. The whole 8 team at that time, Tony Gibson was a crew chief, and he said, "Oh, look, guys, we've been asked to come all of us to come over to Stewart Haas and do Ryan Newman on the 39." So our hire date was December the 8th, 2008. That's when we all went over there and walked in the front office, and they gave us a tour of the place.
You all went as a group.
As a group, all
So
of us went the same.
the 8 team went as a whole.
Yep.
Because you guys were
The road guys,
right,
all the road guys,
right.
all the road guys went as a whole, and they gave us a tour of the place. And our start, that was our actually officially start date, was
Okay.
December 8th, 2008.
Hmm.
That's how I got 3 weeks vacation faster than Todd Cable did, because he didn't come, and because we asked him,
Right.
he went with DEI. He went over to the Well, he stayed over there about the middle of January, and we talked him into coming over here, and he was my backup driver then. Or we're equal
Right.
there. It doesn't make any. We used to say backup driver,
Code-
primary driver.
code
Don't
driver,
make any
yeah,
difference. Because we both do the same thing now. But he finally came over, and I got my 3rd week vacation, and he was 2 weeks longer than he
Right.
should have been to get his 3 weeks. He has it now.
Well, I remember because I got out, was it beginning of 2007, and I know when the whole thing went down, and Dale Jr. said, if you guys got someplace to go, because I'm the hell out of here. We're all like, what did he just say? And then, that happened.
Yeah.
And a few guys, 4 guys, he was allowed to take 4 guys to Hendrick with him, and the rest of you guys, you had it. But I think, how did it make you feel? They wanted all of you as a group. How did that make you feel over at Stewart Haas?
I don't know. It was time to go. I think at that particular time, the morale was way down at that particular time, and then we had Mark, and you couldn't have a nicer guy than Mark Martin to work with, or Eric. Eric was
Eric
spot on.
Almirola, yeah.
Matter of fact, I was coming home from Charlotte Sunday night, and he pulled up to me, and his wife rolled down the window and says, "Why are you driving so crazy?" I said, "I'm not driving crazy." I said, I saw the kids in the back. I said, "Your kids need to ride with me to a racetrack one weekend."
Yeah.
So I think they talked about her and the 2 kids riding with me to Martinsville.
Todd Cable's watching. He just goes, but I got my vacation and bonus from DEI. Oh, take that. Yeah.
I did too. Ha, ha, ha.
Perfect.
3 weeks.
Yeah. But I know we all talk about it, and I want to ask you a question. I ask everybody else. If by something happened and, hey, let's get DEI going back together again and bring back pretty much, would you?
Oh, and in a heartbeat. Not even a question.
If something like,
Just tell me when.
Exactly. Everyone says pretty much the same thing, myself included. It would be. I don't know if we could capture lightning in a bottle, but I go by there and sometimes I'll stop. Like before the season, I'll stop and they will open. You'll just look and you'll think about, the Dale Earnhardt days and all the big times and putting the flags up, the victories and the Christmas parties, and then now here sits this well manicured lawn, and you look and
And it keeps that place looking good.
they're looking good, but for what?
Actually, it was weird because when we were Chevrolet before we switched over to Ford on the off season,
Over at Stewart Haas.
At Stewart Haas, we would have to go get Chevrolet parts, and we got them from the 8 shop. Is where they kept all the parts
Oh,
at. And,
really?
and I walked in there, and it was like looking around. It's like, man, this don't look nothing like what we had.
That place could talk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was weird going in there and seeing that.
I'm sure. Okay, so then you go over to Stewart Haas. You're with Ryan Newman. So what was it? Was how much of a change? Like a culture change, or
It was a big show.
how did Tony make you feel? First of all?
Tony was a great guy. Tony still is. I mean, we asked him one time about something, and his comment was, "I'll be Huckleberry," right off the bat. He's out there in flip flops and in shorts, and it's 30 degrees, and that wind blowing under that canopy.
Right.
That's when we were asking him about putting boxing it in. I'll be a Huckleberry, but it's still open.
Right.
Great guy.
So what was it like when you guys the transition going over there? Because you're used to doing something for 6 years, and you guys, we'd walk in there, we just knew. No one had to talk. You just knew.
Yeah.
And now you're like.
It's the same because you went with the same 8 guys.
Right.
We all went over there, and there, it was Tony asked me, him and Eddie were walking through the garage. I won't never forget. It was in Chicago, and they had made the announcement they were going to start Stewart Haas Racing.
Right.
And he walked by me, and he said, "You want to drive a truck for me?"
Who's this?
Tony.
Okay.
And I said, "When are you going to start today?" He
I
said,
gotta
I'll
get
call
this
you.
home. But yeah.
I'll call you this time.
Well, he's probably wanted to find out who he had to get.
Well, I was in.
Okay.
He had me at hello.
So you started with Ryan Newman, and then you went to.
I stayed with Ryan Newman, Gibson, and Jay, and Two Beer, and all those guys went with Danica. I stayed on the 39, and luckily, when Ryan's tender was up, we got Harvick.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. I get it.
Which one are you gonna take?
Because I was at RCR when he announced he was leaving there, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And then he went over to you guys, and we know the rest.
I mean, and then of course the first year we won the championship and the Daytona 5. No, we didn't win the Daytona.
No.
We won the championship. So, my first ever.
Right. So what do you have to your credit? You have one Daytona 500, 2004.
One, yep.
With
2 Indies.
right.
Championship.
Okay.
I had one with Newman and one with Harvick.
Right.
And we won 9 races last year. Won Charlotte 600. Won the All-Star race.
Yep.
Back-to-back races in Michigan. Back-to-back in. I don't know. Did we do back-to-back in Dover? I know we did back-to-back in Michigan. But
See, he's got a good memory for all this, folks. He's got a good memory.
I'm old.
That's all right. I didn't realize you were 66.
66.
That's pretty good.
And I get my first Social Security check next Tuesday, bro.
When was your birthday?
It was July 18th. I had to move 66 in 2 months. So I told my wife, I said, bring that first check home when it hits the bank. She said, why do you want to do that? I said, because it took me 66 years to get it. I want to spend it like I want to.
All right, so working with Harvick, you want to talk about this past weekend and how disappointing it was?
It was disappointing. I mean, we were in good shape there, and he was doing exactly what he had to do. And when he hit the brakes, his tire locked up and slid right in the wall. But I played golf in his golf tournament yesterday. Talked to him for a little briefly in the end of it, and thanked him for letting me play, and told him he was my horse. He would never win another race.
Perfect. All right, so we got some questions here for you. I'm going to start out light. Someone ask you, is there a ghost at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated?
No.
There was no ghost. Why would someone ask about that?
I was in there at all grades of time of night, day. Every now and again you'd hear something that, turn your head, but I didn't hear no tools hitting the floor or somebody banging on the wall.
Okay.
But I think it was just basically the air conditioner on top or something, or they had fans in the truck bay.
Okay.
Now, Teresa scared the heck out of me one time. I was coming back from Darlington, and I was the last truck to leave because we finished in the top 3, and we had to get tear down. So I was the last one to get back, and it was like 2 in the morning, 2:30, something like that, and I just felt something wasn't right, and I was pulling the toolbox off, and I turned around and looked, and she was staring right at me. It was like, holy moly.
What did you say?
She said, are you the last one back? And I said, yes, ma'am. I said, we had to tear down, and I said, I'm just starting to unload the bottom. And she said, okay, have a nice day. She drove off.
Did you ask her why she was there at 2:30? Okay,
No, it wasn't none of my business. I wasn't sticking my nose in that one.
What are you doing here? Yeah. I got trapped in there when I first started. We started the website. I was working away. We had like a launch date, And all of a sudden, next thing I knew, it was, I don't know, like 9 o'clock at night. And my wife at the time called. She's like, "Are you where?" She's like, I go, "Oh my gosh, my car's in the shop." I said, "I'm sorry, can you come get me?" She goes, "You still there?" I said, "Yeah, I just answered the phone here." She goes, "Oh my gosh." I said, so she comes to get me. So I'm living in Mooresville, so by the time she gets out there. Well, in the meantime, I still go outside and wait for her because, as I'm walking out, you walk out where the office area was and you take the right where the one bay was to go out where the security was. Well, I didn't know any of the codes. And I didn't know what was armed, alarmed, or nothing. I knew the one to get out. And I went out, and all of a sudden the alarms start going off. I go, gosh, I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. The alarms are going. I'm only there like a month or so. So I go back into the big, where the Taj Mahal, where the Garage Mahal, all the displays were.
Garage Mahal.
And I'm sitting there, and it's going off, and all of a sudden I felt this presence. Like Dale was there, and he's laughing at me. And I remember going, it's not that funny. Really out loud, like it's not that funny. And like he just got a kick out of it. Well then, my cell phone, my ex-wife calls me, she goes, "Is everything okay? There's cop cars all over." I go, "What?" She goes, "There's sheriff's cars all over the place." I go, "Oh no." About that time I go walking out, in walks Iredell County Sheriff, and he goes, "You belong here?" And he's reaching. I go, Yeah, I work here. He goes, "What are you doing in here?" I said, "I work here. I got trapped in here late." He goes, "Stop it, I need ID." And he's like, giving me the business. Well, all of a sudden, here comes Randy Earnhardt.
Randy came from home.
Randy came around the corner, and he's laughing his ass off at me. And he goes, "Yeah, you figured out who was stuck in here." And I was just scared that being the only person in there in that big place. So I will say there is a presence, but I won't say there's a ghost.
I never saw that. I just heard little creaks and crannies. I didn't hear nobody throwing wrenches on the floor.
Got it. LDR, is that supposed to mean something?
We'll not go there on that one.
Okay, he said he'll know what it is. I said, okay, I'll ask.
I know what it is.
Okay, but
who asked you that?
I don't remember, but it was pretty. But it was there.
Probably Jay Grenary.
It was not Jay. It wasn't Jay. All right, so I'm supposed to ask you about bowling shoes at Martinsville.
Well. Yes, that was.
So
we go down there, and this is when
folks, this was classic. I witnessed it, so
this is when we were on with the 15 team, and we bowled against NASCAR. And
so every year in Martinsville we had the bowling tournament,
and they closed the bowling tournament down, I believe, just to NASCAR employees and team members and NASCAR people.
Right.
So we bowled against NASCAR. Well, the guy that was the sponsor for Napa just bought a humongous bucket of Bud Light and set it on the counter.
Right.
Well, what's Otis supposed to do but drink the beer?
Well, that's what we're all supposed to do, because
So I drank the beer, and I'm this guy. When I get to that limit, I'm quit and I'm ready to go.
Sure.
So I went to the bathroom, and I walked out to the bathroom, and I looked at the lanes, and I looked at the front door, and I just went to the front door and walked to the hotel.
So the hotel we're staying at was a typical Martinsville. It probably looked great in 1950 something.
Oh yeah.
It looked great, but all the doors opened out, and like there was a railing, and then like a courtyard. So we went and hang in the courtyard, and the keys were the old
drop in.
The card. Yeah. And
it don't work too good when you're using your credit card to try to open the door. It wouldn't open. So I just sat down and went to sleep by the door.
We come back, and like Rick's sitting out there. I'm like, oh God, I hope he's okay. And they're like, he's okay. I said, they can watch. So they woke up, and you're sitting there, and you had your card in your hand. And I go, and they're like, oh, I know what happened here. And like, we got him. But, you just went to sleep because you're tired. So the next day,
I go get in the van.
Now, wait a minute. When you left the bowling alley,
I left everything.
You left your
shoes, bowling ball, bag.
You just wanted to go.
Everything. I left it all. They had no clue where I was at.
Your porch light went on. It was time to go.
It was time to go.
Yeah. So the hotel was close by. Yeah.
I get up. I walk to the hotel. And I get up next morning. I look down, and I had got my tennis shoes, and all I see is white bowling shoes. I said, son of a, you know what? I gotta walk down there with these white bowling shoes on. So I get in the van. Pops didn't speak to me.
But you see,
the whole team's in the van.
The whole team's in the van. You take
so I get in the very back seat.
Trying to be sneaky.
And then I made a comment. I said, blank, I got to walk in with these blankety white bowling shoes on, and all of a sudden here comes a tennis shoe from the front all the way to the back. No, you didn't, you drunk ass. I brought your tennis shoes and your bowling ball.
Oh, they saved your bowling ball.
They got the bowling ball.
Perfect. So, yeah, I wish I was to see you walking down with the bowling shoes on. That was one of the
I
classics.
probably cleaned off all the stop signs or
Oh, yeah.
road
Yeah,
signs
it's
going
fine.
there
Just made it
leaning
back.
against them, trying to
Made it back safely.
get back. But I got back.
Martinsville, the bowling tournament was always just
Oh, that was fun.
fun time.
Fun times.
All right, we have a question here from one of our viewers, Matthew Lauren Filion. Favorite tracks, least favorite, and why?
I like Bristol.
Because?
It's just racing.
Right.
Martinsville, it's racing. You get in these big tracks and these cars now just get separated from each other. It's not it's close. It's gotten better with no practice,
Yes.
but the closer races are better for me because I don't have to drive as far. But if I picked one, it'd be Bristol night race.
Perfect.
Because it's a little more. It's at night and it gets your blood going, and of course when you win one, you get to sit up there on that big plateau with the
Yes.
car and
That big trophy.
get that humongous trophy. I've taken home like 4 times.
So yeah, question. So when you win, you always got to take the trophy.
We
home
take
with
the
you.
trophies home.
So where did you put the trophy when
The
you
trophy was at the very back at the truck when the door shut. It was just room enough because it's too big to get in the lounge.
Okay.
Couldn't get it in the lounge. So we put the blanket over it and set it right behind the toolbox, and I put a little strap on it and it shut the door, and that was the first thing to come off when we
Sure.
got in the truck.
Perfect. I always wondered. I took one home from Richmond one night. Cup race, Harvick wins, and like they just said, "Here." Richard goes, "Here, Packman, take this home." Now I was driving. I was going, so I'm doused in beer and champagne. I didn't have any because and I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, I smell. And if I get pulled over, they're going to say, "You smell." I'm like, okay. And I have strapped in my passenger seat the Richmond trophy and a bottle of champagne and all. And it was just, there's your proof that,
Yeah, well, I
coming
mean,
from the track.
they'd have gave you a blood test. You'd passed.
That's fine. I was good. Yeah.
You were good.
I
You
did
just
it.
smelled the alcohol.
Exactly. But you have a trophy like how many other guys had that? Least favorite track and why?
Speedways. I don't
As
pick
in,
one. Either one of them.
really?
No.
Because?
It's a wreck fest.
Yeah.
You're taking $1 million car out there and turning. You got 4 cars.
No.
You turn them all to hell just for the fans to see wrecks.
Right.
I don't like speedways.
I wish we could race one to the end, like the last 15 laps. I wish we could just complete it without a late caution, the restart and all that. So, favorite memories? I mean, you've had
Championship 2020, 14,
Right.
and then winning the 500 in 2004. I don't remember a whole lot about it after the fact when we got back to the condo.
Sure.
Pops flew the plane down there with all the shop guys on it, and
Well, that's right. You brought them all down for the
sent the
ceremony.
plane home and then put them back and brought it down there, and they all went out, but I think I was talking to a tree that was in the corner of the condo.
We definitely enjoyed that one.
That was fun.
That one was fun. And then I remember we went to.
We had to stay and race on Monday, the Xfinity race, because
Yes,
it rained out, and we
right.
won that too.
And we had the Daytona USA.
Yes,
Remember
on
we put
that
the
morning.
card, and I'll never get Teresa coming around with gum. She goes, "You guys need gum or something. You guys need breath mints or something." We're like, "I'm sorry." Like it was like get home, and the thing was like at 6, 7 in the morning. Remember?
It
was brutal.
Yeah.
Ah.
I signed it on the left front fender.
Mickey Russell, I signed the right rear fender.
Mickey.
And Mickey Russell, hey Otis, love you Speedway racing. You love Speedway racing. It's being smart. Jason Eitzen, Otis, what's up, Spanky? What's that? What's your story on that or no?
Spanky is he worked at Stewart Haas. He was the cook at
Oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
That's it. That's Spanky.
Yep, I had him on. Another
He was at
show
the
there.
track this week, and he's not doing good. I hope you're getting better.
Yep. Tom Beatty, your #1 fan, he says, "How do you feel about road courses?"
I didn't like him at first. I think it's part of the sport that's going to keep growing. I think they're going to keep doing road courses. So it's, you either like them or
Right.
quit.
That's good. He says he hates them.
I'm not a fan of them either. Get them on a mile and a half, mile track, half mile track. Let them beat and bang run like heck. The road courses, I think NASCAR personally is leaning towards the F1 side with this
New car.
this new car with a single lug nut. And it's
Number.
gonna be easy to tie down in the truck though,
Why is it so?
because they got a single lug nut, but they put a lug nut on with a swivel hook,
Right.
so it can go front or back. You can just take 2 ratchets and strap the front, 2 ratchets strap the back. You don't even have to climb under the car anymore.
Ah, look at
It's
you.
all from the outside.
See, perfect.
Hey, them speedway cars are getting kind of low to ground for this big boy to get under.
The long trips out west. Did you like those? I mean, you're seeing
When
the
I
country.
first went, yes, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool because you got to see stuff that nobody gets to see.
Right.
But now, when it takes you 42 hours to get to Sonoma, no, not a fan of that anymore.
All right. So when you do it, so you have a co-driver and you do shifts of how long?
Steve Mitchell is me and him do the 4-car, and we'll start out with 8 because you have to take a break between the 5th and 8 hour.
Right.
So we'll do 7 hours and 50 minutes, and then I'll start driving and do my 11. So we don't have to start for that 30 minutes.
Right.
So we skip 30 minutes. And then I'll drive my 11, but I have to stop between the 5th and 8 hour. And we usually try to do it in that time where we need fuel, so we can get fuel the time we're taking a 30-minute break.
So there's a science to this whole.
Yes, I mean, we keep the left door shut, you can make some time.
Okay.
And we do.
Any ever having a wreck or a breakdown at all, or?
I broke down several times. Me and Todd, matter of fact, was going to Phoenix, and they had a wreck in the road, and I was in the left-hand lane, and there was junk everywhere, and a piece of metal flew up and hit the air tank on the trailer,
Oof.
knocked the air valve off of it, and it sets it right down on the tires, and you got to stop because it would catch the trailer on fire. And it was about 28 degrees, and 2:30 in the morning, and we called Love's, and Love didn't have nobody, and called Pilot, they didn't have nobody. It'd be daylight. I said, ma'am, I need to get to Phoenix.
I have some important cargo here.
This guy came, we got a hold of this guy, and his kid come out there with a milk crate full of parts. And I don't know how that kid got under that truck because the airbags were all the way down. And they fixed it in about an hour, and I gave him, he was only going to charge me $100. I gave him $300 and said, see ya.
Did you give him a hat and t-shirt or no?
I gave him 2 hats.
Okay, just making sure.
No t-shirt, just hats. Didn't have no t-shirts.
Okay, so that's good. Question from, Justin, our website magician. He asks, I take it you're a huge fan of low, no downforce then? Is that sarcasm or?
I'm just put me on a mile track, Dover.
Yeah.
Can't beat Dover. I mean, Dover is just badass.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to get to the point where in about 6 to 7 laps, you're going to catch the back of the field, and it's racing all day. Sound like Martinsville and Bristol and the mile-and-a-half tracks. Harvick's really good at, so
Okay.
I'll take mile-and-a-half tracks.
Perfect. So all the things you've seen on the highway, and what's probably some of the most beautiful part of the country of the USA you've seen?
When you first go into Arizona, the top side, you go in there about, I don't know how far it is, but the rock formations, about the rocks on the side of the road, how it's like they're just carved out of big stone. I mean, it's big boulders on top of little boulders, and a big boulder on the top of the other boulder. It's like a man that made that.
Right. How did it get there?
It got there by the good man upstairs.
What's your least favorite trip? Don't tell me Charlotte. Yeah.
The least favorite is Sonoma.
Yeah.
Because it's so far out there. And and it's not it's not our fault. It's not NASCAR's fault. The pandemic. We do these one-day shows. Okay, we race for 3 hours. It takes us 42 to get out there, 42 to get back. It's 84 hours for 3 hours racing.
Did you like the new schedule, the reduced schedule? Do you like that? Or
I like the one-day shows because we get to stay home a lot more. Because back when we was at DEI, I've done all 36 races and the test.
And the testing. So you were.
I done it all.
Yeah.
And didn't have nobody except co-driver when we went to long trips. But I like the two-day shows next year they're talking about is going to be.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, they're going to do some, and I think it's what they're talking is to me is they're going to do a 40-minute practice, and qualifying's in that 40-minute practice. So, and then you line them up. They impound it after the practice, and you can line them up race on Sunday.
Richard Coleman.
Oh, Puddin'.
Okay. He says, "Hey, ask Otis about his golf game."
Hey, you should have seen me yesterday.
Wait, there's part 2. He said he has to carry extra bottles of sand on his cart for divot repairs. I can ask, but you can tell us you want to. So golf? So what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? What's your
I like to
release?
play golf. Puddin' calls me a son. I call him my dad. I texted him. I said, Dad, hey, yeah, by the way, Dad, when are you going to aerate and seed my yard?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, when you do that.
You want to talk about my divots? Come on over there and seed and fertilize my yard.
Perfect. So you can mow it. So what is your outlet? What is it? I mean, when you're not driving, you can't.
I love to play golf. But me and him get along. You know, he picks me up so I can have a few beverages because I won't drive and drink.
But you can't.
I can't.
You can't. I
But
mean, real quick, we joke about what's happened, but Rick is beyond safe, and when it comes time to drive, and he knows the difference between fun and when and not to. But when you're, the track, well, he says when you mow it, he'll do that.
I mowed it today.
There you go, Richard.
So
get over there.
Seed it tomorrow.
There you go. But you've always been safety first, and you've always, when it's time to have fun. The old schedule, you could have fun on a Friday, because Saturday you're not going anywhere.
Saturday we was at the track and,
working.
It was the hardest thing is to win a race and not be able to drink a beer.
Yeah,
because I had to drive.
Sure, and you're sponsored by Budweiser.
Budweiser, but same with Harvick. You don't win a race.
Well, that's right.
By myself,
Yeah,
like Bristol, we won the Bristol night race. I can't drink a beer because I got to drive.
I just noticed something. Budweiser and you seem to have been traveling.
It followed me.
I was just. I just put that together.
Their stocks went down when I left.
So they got your back together.
They got me back. Yeah,
perfect.
The stocks went down.
Perfect. All right. So this is Chance, Londa, your wife. She's been with me all these years, and all the years she's supported everything. It's got the kids and everything. It's got to mean a lot.
She is. She's a. I hadn't seen anybody who works as hard as that woman. I mean, but she puts up with me, and that calls. She's a saint. Because I was rough around the edges when we met.
Yeah.
It took a while to tame me down, but she finally did. But she is a great mother, unbelievable grandmother. It's Mimi.
Yeah.
Mimi's house.
Got it.
Grandkids are welcome. Parents by appointment only.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait, say that one more time.
Grandkids are welcome. Parents by appointment only.
Ooh, look at that.
There's a sign as you come in the door in the garage.
Okay, next to the kids, y'all can leave right now. Perfect.
Just leave the kids. Y'all get out.
That's great.
Great woman.
All right. And on that note, I'm just going to say thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. When I saw you in the garage, I saw you and I walked by. I was like, we got to get him on. And I've had a lot of fun with you through the years, and appreciate your friendship. It was good to have you on here with us. So thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'll toast you. Can you toast your Coca-Cola there? There we go. And at the end of every show, hey, don't forget, folks, we have merchandise. Check out our website, pubcableracers.com, and our YouTube channel. Be sure to sign up and just subscribe. It's free, and you get the condensed version of all this.
Push, Harry, see my yard tomorrow.
Yeah, because he mowed it, all right?
I mowed it today.
Yeah, there you go. Monica Rogers, what a cool guest. Thank you, Monica. And on that note, we say good night, kid. Good night, kid. Stay safe, everyone. See ya. Warren will be back next week, regularly scheduled time. Wow. Hey, another great show. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. We do this every Tuesday night, and Warren, I think the guests we've had have been fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And the people that are following us, we appreciate it. We're reaching 42,000 people a month. Can you believe that? And we appreciate you watching. And
we're having fun. Hope everybody else enjoys it.
That's it. And it's just a fun show. Bucket of beer. Guys sitting around talking about it. So keep tuning in. We appreciate it. Check out our store and everything. But we appreciate you people, and we will see you next week. Right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. See you next week.